everybody. If you do not know already, I got these new headphones. I got a audio splitter so I can plug in my microphone. As you can see, a new mic under this is gold. Gold mic. Of course, this I think one helps drastically or whatever. Then I got the pop filter and all that stuff. I mean, it's gonna be staying out of range of the camera if I can help it a bit. So yeah, not too much into the camera or like taking too much away from my face. We're good to go. I think that's good. Again, I do need to get a new chair to raise me up, unless I say the truth. And now, some of these I will not do. These are on these three are on a big maybe list. I don't know, but today we are going to go with this video. Now, I would like to say before doing this, spoiler warning. Because I don't know what video games it is going to do. And depending on the games, I don't know if people have played it or seen. So some of these might be spoilers for some. So again, just caution, if you're watching this, if you see something you do not know, please skip past it in the video.
It's fair to say that most video game plots are the furthest thing from subtle. In fact, it's typical for most games to bash players over the head with their big reveals and pin their eyes open like they're in a Clockwork Orange to make sure they don't miss anything. Basically, yeah, they think we're all idiots. However, every so often, creators will have enough faith in players to figure things out for themselves, and simply leave a shocking plot twist waiting to be discovered. The following games then all decided to hide game-changing rug pulls in collectible files and tapes to reveal crucial information through easily missed one-liners, and basically reward only the most attentive and curious players with the full narrative. Therefore, if you did manage to discover all of them on your own, then, well done, you're a lot smarter than I am. I'm Josh from WhatCulture.com, and these are 9 subtle video game twists everyone missed. Number 9, Wanda is Aiko's ancestor, Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus is a wonderful, ethereal game with a baffling ending which has mystified fans and casual observers alike.
Wait.
Is Aiko's ancestor, Shadow.
Oh, I knew Shadow Colossus was linked with Aiko because in Aiko you're put in jail because you have horns and all that stuff, and those are considered demons or whatever. It's been a while since I've seen someone play the game like Jacksepticeye play it, but however, I know this took place in the same universe, so if it's an ancestor, that means it's before it. Okay.
Of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus is a wonderful, ethereal game with a baffling ending which has mystified fans and casual observers alike ever since it launched. After protagonist Wanda has defeated all 16 Colossi, he discovers that he was tricked by the supernatural entity Dormin, and that killing the beast simply allowed Dormin's soul to reform. Wanda then becomes possessed by a powerful Dormin, growing horns out of his head and transforming into a giant creature, which is eventually defeated. Wanda's love Mono then awakens to find a horned baby in the temple, the implication being that Wanda, or possibly a Wanda-Dormin hybrid, has been reborn and given another chance to live his life. But this also provides a neat and unexpected lead into Team Aiko's previous game, Aiko, whose titular protagonist also bore horns. Director Fumito Ueda has since confirmed that Shadow of the Colossus is a prequel to Aiko, basically also confirming that Wanda is Aiko's ancestor, with the entire bloodline being cursed to also Fumito Ueda has since confirmed that Shadow of the Colossus is a prequel to Ico, basically also confirming that Shadow of the Colossus is a prequel to Ico, confirming that Wanda is Ico's ancestor, with the entire bloodline being cursed to bear horns for his misdeeds. Number 8. Michael assassinates an innocent man, Grand Theft Auto 5. By the Book is by far GTA 5's most controversial mission, where Trevor is tasked with torturing a man, Ferdinand Kerimov, in order to ascertain the location and appearance of Tahir Javan, an Azerbaijani man who the FIB claims has links to terrorist groups. This culminates in Michael finally eliminating Javan with a well-placed sniper bullet, and then the mission is complete. Job done, well done, hero. However, the real sting in the tail is only revealed in a Weasel News radio broadcast that randomly plays after the mission is completed. The news piece reveals that Javan was innocent, referring to him as a, quote, much-loved Azerbaijani man, noted philanthropist, and community leader, while noting that the police are baffled why anyone would want to murder him. Basically, how the hell could you hate this guy? Well, this confirms that the shady FIB were only looking after their own interests, and you just killed a totally innocent person in cold blood to cover your own hide, putting a stop to Javan's humanitarian efforts in the process.
Wow.
Number 7, you're secretly a villain inside. Inside is one of the most unforgettable video game experiences of the last few years, all the way through to its insane ending, where the boy protagonist is sucked into a fleshy blob known as the Huddle, which violently escapes from its confinement and comes to rest at a serene coastline. But things get even trippier if you manage to unlock Inside's alternate ending, which requires the player to deactivate a series of 14 orbs hidden throughout the game. Here you can enter a bunker, and after completing a cipher puzzle, you'll find a room with a series of computers, a mind control helmet, and a plug. The player can then pull this plug, which immediately causes the boy they're playing as to slump down in the limp state adopted by all of the other slave humans seen throughout the game, and the player then can no longer control him. The end. Though the ending is technically ambiguous and the developers have flatly refused to explain it, the widely accepted interpretation is that this final pulling of the plug represents the boy being set free from the player themselves, who in turn is implied to be yet another layer of antagonistic control. Yikes. Number 6. Calendar Man is present when Wayne Manor explodes. Batman Arkham Knight. Rocksteady's most recent Batman game concludes with the Dark Knight activating the Nightfall Protocol, whereby Bruce Wayne fakes his and Alfred's deaths by having them walk into Wayne Manor moments before it explodes. However, if you're really paying attention moments before the explosion, you'll notice an intriguing, sneaky supervillain cameo while Vicky Vale is reporting on Batman's return to Wayne Manor. On the right-hand side of the screen, there's a blink-and-you'll-miss-it presence of a tattooed bald head that is definitely the serial killer Calendar Man. While it's not much of a surprise that Calendar Man is on the loose after escaping captivity in Arkham City, his presence at Batman's death certainly is, given that it pays off one of Arkham City's best-known Easter eggs. In that game, if you set your console's date to December 13, 2004, the date Rocksteady was founded, and visit Calendar Man in his cell, he'll tell the Caped Crusader, "I was there at your beginning, and I'll be there at your end." A threat he apparently lived up to. Number 5. Lucas is spying on his own family.
Alright, Resident Evil 7.
The Baker family are the easy highlight of Resident Evil 7, and though most of the family are dead meat by the end of the game, their troubled son Lucas actually makes it through relatively intact. In classic Resident Evil fashion, Resident Evil 7 drops plenty of its lore in documents scattered throughout the world, with one especially curious file on Lucas's laptop in the laboratory near the end of the game, revealing some vital plot information about him. The file states that, contrary to what seemed self-evident, Lucas wasn't in fact under Evelyn's control, having been given a vaccine by a mysterious third party prior to the start of the game, and is instead spying on his infected, controlled family in return. As for how Lucas's hand still regenerates after Jack cuts it off, well, it seems that Lucas is still infected with the mold even if he isn't subject to Evelyn's control. Despite how vital this piece of character shading is for understanding one of Resident Evil 7's most memorable antagonists, it's incredibly easy to miss if you're not paying attention or didn't bother playing the story-expanding DLC. Number 4. Skullface forced Chico to sexually assault Paz. Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zero stirred up huge controversy when the end of the game revealed that Snake's old pal Paz had been experimented upon by the villainous Skullface, who then put a bomb in her vagina, which promptly explodes, killing her. Yep, it's as grim as it sounds, but sadly, it gets even worse. Because if you bothered to collect the various audio cassettes hitting throughout Ground Zeroes, you might have stumbled across one which filled in some of the intensely disturbing blanks of Paz's captivity under Skullface, along with her friend Chico. As it turns out, after having his own soldiers rape Paz, Skullface also forced Chico to do the same to her on the threat of death if he refused. This is depicted in nauseatingly graphic detail in the tapes, and honestly, you're probably better off not listening to it at all. It's very un-Kojima-like and handled poorly, but it's undeniably there. Number 3, it's set in the Alan Wake universe, Control. Remedy Entertainment's Control was released this past summer to rock-solid reviews, but you might have missed that the sci-fi action-adventure game also appears to exist within the same universe as Remedy's prior franchise, Alan Wake. As many fans suspected pre-release, Control contains several Easter eggs which effectively confirm that the two IP exist within the same shared continuity. For starters, the game's altered world events were mentioned in Alan Wake, and players are also able to come across a document explaining an altered item, which just so happens to be Alan Wake's famous collectible thermoses, with the report even mentioning Wake as a witness. Furthermore, the document suggests Wake was a prime candidate to become director of the Federal Bureau of Control before his disappearance. And if you're still not convinced, you can even track down where the altered thermos is stashed, after which you'll trigger a vision of Alan, who briefly monologues to protagonist Jesse. All of this is missed incredibly easy though, but given how passionately Alan Wake fans have been campaigning for more from that world, this is a pretty damn significant twist. Number 2, Wesker totally had the hots for Rebecca Chambers, Resident Evil 2. There's an infamous Easter egg in the original version of Resident Evil 2, where if the player searches Albert Wesker's desk in the STARS office 50 times, they'll receive a secret film canister which, when developed, reveals a photo of Rebecca Chambers in a basketball uniform. Back in 1998 though, that Wesker of all people would have a cute picture of Rebecca was baffling enough, and many fans suggested that the supervillain perhaps had a soft spot for the young officer. Hilariously, this year's remake actually doubled down on that theory by revising the Easter egg to be a decidedly more risque and suggestive photo of Rebecca. There's no way to explain this one really, beyond accepting the obvious. Given that Capcom made the implications even more overt in the remake, it's pretty clear what fans are supposed to take away from it.
Yep.
And now, just before we get on to our number 1, just a heads up that this will have spoilers for Death Stranding. I know it's quite recent.
Spoilers for Death Stranding. I know it's probably been out for a while since I've been doing this video, and this video was 3 years ago, but still, again, spoilers for anything.
And so, this is your warning. Anyway, number 1, the pizza delivery guy is actually Higgs, Death Stranding.
Of course, that's kind of obvious.
Insane recent release Death Stranding.
If you played the game,
a memorable series of side quests.
I mean, it's pretty obvious if you've played the game because, like, the way he asks, "Oh, it's been double tagged for fragile bridges." The way he acts, it's so suspicious that you can kind of already guess that it's Higgs. First off. Especially if you look at the item in your inventory, it says a nuclear thermal device, aka a nuke. So it's like, it's kind of obvious that it was Higgs.
Where Sam undertakes pizza delivery missions for an unseen man known only as Peter Englert. These missions require Sam to carefully stack and carry the pizza within a limited time in order to ensure Mr. Englert can enjoy its hot, doughy goodness as intended.
Oh, pizza.
But as it turns out, this is yet another classic Kojima troll, and one which contains an unexpectedly huge bombshell of a spoiler. You see, Peter Englert is actually a pseudonym, an amalgam of the names of theoretical physicists Peter Higgs and Francois Englert, who discovered the Higgs mechanism. Consequently, it's no coincidence that one of the game's primary antagonists is also named Higgs. The truth of the...
Oh, so a pizza mission. I don't think Jacksepticeye did a pizza mission. I mean, I know he did one, but I know there is a main mission that you do where he does a bomb that goes to South Knox City that if you deliver it blows up and it's game over, but then you have to take it to Fragile, then they tell you to take it to the tar and then you throw it in, but that's the main mission though. This is like a side mission, I haven't seen it.
The matter as to who this person actually is, though, is only revealed after you've hauled every pizza painstakingly across America, where players will then discover that the house they've been going to is actually Higgs's hideout, and realize that he was the guy ordering the pizzas from you all along. In addition to finding Higgs's mad ramblings scrawled all over the wall, you can also pick up a memory chip which fills in his backstory, and you'll also unlock the God Particle Go-Getter trophy for your trouble. Is it worth it? You're absolutely goddamn right it is. So that's our list. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Did you already figure these twists?
That's what happens when you do all the pizza missions. That's cool. Again, I never saw that part in the game because people I've watched never really figured that out or done the side missions much. So that's kind of interesting. Cool Easter egg twist or whatever you could, like, whatever you want to call it, that you can do, but that kind of but that really, like, means you really have to go out of your way to do the side mission, or at least the pizza ones, to get to that. So that's kind of interesting to know who was ordering the pizzas the whole time. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully.